G'day you beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about the support role. More importantly, I want to talk about how to properly farm as a support. Now, something that I've kind of taken issue with a lot of the times while I'm playing solo and sometimes in groups is that not only do a lot of supports not really understand their role, they don't really understand how they're supposed to farm. So as a support, you are always going to end up under-farmed compared to everyone else on your team. You're not getting last hits, so therefore you're not farming as well. Okay, for the laning phase of a MOBA, which at the moment is probably around about the 10-minute mark, you're expected to be in lane with your carry whenever they're in lane, soaking up XP from the last hits that they actually get by getting assists from the kills that they get. You're there to facilitate them farming, okay? It's your job to make sure that they farm well, and if you do so, they will in turn be feeding you. Now, there comes a time when you have to leave this laning phase and you need to rotate. Okay, so let's say for example you have taken your tier 1 tower in safe lane. Your carry is nice and fed and he decides to back. The wave is pushed that far forward that it's not really safe for you to go down and try to farm it. So you need to start to rotate. Now, it is a long way from rotations, especially if you're going all the way over to the left from right lane. So you'll notice in the background now, I actually pause while Hit is clearing the jungle here. It is a little bit of a detriment to him, but he's very farm rich. In his environment, he's got a lot of farm to be had. So I just sit there and I wait till he gets those last hits, and I soak up a bit of XP and a bit of CXP off of him, and then continue to rotate. If I had have gone down the river and completely bypassed him, and then bypassed the minions being killed in mid lane and went all the way over to the left and just stood there, like I am now, just standing here, that's a good sort of minute or more where I'm not getting any farm whatsoever. Okay, now one thing that a lot of people are doing lately is they're kind of getting frustrated that being a support, they're not getting CP, so they start to take jungle camps. That's a big no-no in my opinion. Unless you're on comms with the person and they're okay with you sort of taking it, then you really shouldn't be taking his jungle farm from him. He needs that, and he has his route planned out in a certain way. You may have a situation where your jungler is way ahead of everybody else and they really don't mind. That's fine, but as a general rule of thumb, you should not be taking jungle camps. You can go there and you can soak up XP like I was from them farming, and that is completely and utterly fine. You'll notice at the moment that I've actually left my carry in right lane. He had a little bit of support over there from our jungler, and now he's just being left there to farm on his own because we really want him to get strong. If we need to, we'll come over and we'll assist him, make sure he stays alive, help him get kills, help him get even stronger. But one thing we will not do is take farm from him because he's more important than we are. He's definitely more important than I am in this instance because I'm just a big fat narbash. So from now on in this gameplay, this is the competitive match that I played the other day in the Alpha Crucius Esports. So if you haven't watched that, I'll put a link to that down in the description down below. I'm pretty much trying to rotate as quickly as possible, not waste any time at all, and get straight over to where minions are actually being killed, because that way I can soak up XP off of everyone else. So we're all going to back up here, but in this instance, if we were actually farming this lane, I would sit here and farm this lane. Grim is going to go over to right, and I could easily go over and sit with him and grab XP and CXP off of him, but we really want him to get strong, like I said. So I'm here in mid, just not necessarily helping to get last hits, but just generally trying to soak up what I can while providing a bit of backup for our mid laner. So all in all, there's not really too much that I want to speak about and on this topic, because there's not really too much that needs to be said. But just make sure that when you are the support, you really want to maximize the amount of time that you are at a place where you can soak up someone else's farm, okay? So either maximize the amount of time that you're with a certain person, minimize the amount of time that you spend rotating and doing nothing. Because really, if you think about it, like I said before, if I was rotating from right all the way to left, and that sort of 30 seconds or whatever it takes, I went nowhere near anybody, or I backed and then went left lane, that's 30 seconds where I'm not farming. And if that happens, you know, once every couple of minutes, that's minutes worth of farm you're missing out on a half an hour match. So that's why you end up behind. So I will skip forward now just towards the end of the match, and you will see that although I have gotten I've gotten a couple of assists in this match. Obviously you're going to get a few assists on the actual match itself. So here we are at the end, we're 0, 2 and 6. I've got 11 last hits, which is about right, really. I never intended on getting any through the entire match, but we're sitting on 31 CP, and we may only be 2 CP ahead of their support, but we're a level ahead. Okay, so we didn't get too much more assist-wise than what their decker did. The only main difference is that they had 1 extra death, so that was 1 death timer worth of not being in lane, and you know, less time actually sitting in a lane farming. So just to recap everything, be in lane with someone else as much as you possibly can, soaking up CXP and XP. Make sure that your rotations, your paths that you're taking are as quick as humanly possible. Do not waste time. And don't steal things from people, okay? So it happens a lot. I do it a lot as Narbash. I will steal a kill with a thunk. You know, I will, you know, take a last hit by accident. Try your best not to do that, because you are, although you want to get stronger because you getting more points allows you to put more active cards on and support your team better, there is no point you being able to support your team if you're taking CP away from them, okay? So you want them to be the primary feeders on the team. Alright, and just remember that your job is support, okay? You're not a carry. You're not a mid lane caster, you're not a jungler, you're a support. You are there to facilitate everybody else in their pursuit to get stronger, get kills and survive, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. I know it's not a super great video today. I've had a bit of a bad day and a few headaches going on, so I wanted to get something out, and this has been something that's bothering me for a while, so I thought we would just talk about it. And it kind of ties into Epic's latest blogs about the economy of a MOBA, which I will also link in the description down below. Give it a read. It is it's quite important to understand. I notice a lot of people kind of really struggle with feeding, like a support that I had this morning that was a Gideon that just continuously spammed every single minion in a wave, which forced us to both miss last hits, and it just led to both of us really not being fed at all, which is a match that I'll probably post tomorrow. But hopefully something in there was helpful. Hopefully you picked up what I'm putting down, and even just making your quicker rotations can help you towards getting fed a little bit more, because my aim at the end of the day is to help you become better in any way, shape or form, okay? So even if I can get you an extra 2 CP in a match, that is well worth it in my eyes. So if you did enjoy this in any way, shape or form, please smash that like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you think, subscribe for more content, and also don't just let me know what you think in the comments. If you have anything to add at all that can possibly help anyone on this topic, please do so. Be nice to each other in the comments. And as per usual, guys, thank you so much for watching. I love your face, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.